నమస్తే సాక్షి తెలుగువారి మనసాక్షి స్పెషల్ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ షోకి స్వాగతం సుస్వాగతం. ముందుగా ప్రేక్షకులందరికీ నూతన సంవత్సర శుభాకాంక్షలు. అండ్ యుఎస్ రావడం, సెటిల్ అవ్వడం అనేది చాలా మంది డ్రీమ్. కానీ ఆ డ్రీమ్ కొందరికి మాత్రమే సాకారం అవుతుంది. ఎందుకంటే చాలా మందికి సరైన ప్రాపర్ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ గైడెన్స్ లేకపోవడం వల్ల. సో అందుకోసమే సాక్షి ప్రత్యేకంగా ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ తో ఇమిగ్రేషన్ షో ద్వారా సలహాలు, సూచనలు అందిస్తోంది. సో ఈ రోజు షోలో మనతో ఉన్నారు ఎక్స్పర్ట్ భాను ఇల్లింద్ర గారు, బీసీ లా గ్రూప్, పీసీ నుంచి 17 years of experience in law office anamata. So before we begin the show, please note that the information provided on this show not a legal advice and just for information purpose only. So Sakshi TV or its agents will not be responsible for this. If you need any specific legal information, please contact the attorney directly. So Bhanu Illindra garu manto unnaru, varni adigi marini vishayalu telusukundam. Namaste Bhanu garu, happy new year andi.
Thank you, Andy. Wish you the same, Andy. Happy New Year. Thank you for inviting me again.
Yes, Bhanu garu, new year వచ్చేసింది and new rules, new administration, new president రాబోతున్నారు coming soon. So మనకి immigration updates ఎలా ఉన్నాయండి latest గా?
Latest updates, everything is status quo right now, Andy. First thing is, let's talk about the green cards processing and everything. Manaki December varaku they were accepting the filing chart date. As everybody knows who's actually looking for the green cards in this country, there are two types of charts. One is final action chart and the other one is filing action chart. Based upon that, మనం green cards file చేయగలుగుతాము. So December ending వరకు మనకు ఆపర్చునిటీ ఉండే, మళ్ళీ జనవరి నుంచి పాపం ఆ ఆపర్చునిటీ తీసేశారు. ఇప్పుడు ఓన్లీ వీ కెన్ ఫైల్ బేస్డ్ అపాన్ ద ఫైనల్ యాక్షన్ డేట్స్ అవైలబిలిటీ. వీ కెనాట్ ఫైల్ ఇట్ అదర్వైజ్ నౌ, అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ. అదొక్కటే అది మేజర్ చేంజ్ అండి. సెకండ్ థింగ్ ఏంటంటే ట్రావెల్ బ్యాన్. President Trump imposes a travel ban on H-1B workers, L-1 workers, H-2B workers, and F-1, and J-1 visa holders basically, and the green card holders in April and June is extended now. Adi March 31st work extend chesaru adi basically, And yesterday when he made the announcement, he said that still it's important to continue this ban so that US workers can get the preference in hiring in the United States because of the pandemic. And in reality, I do not know how these visas actually affecting the people who doesn't have a jobs in this country right now, especially the 12 million people who are unemployed right now in this country, or majorly people who are working in other industries rather than the industries or the position where the specialized occupation people are actually being hired on H-1B visa or L-1 visa. So that is a strange thing, but they extended till March 31, 2020. Okay, that is one thing which we have to understand right now. So, of course, there are exemptions which have been stated, but we know that consulates are giving a hard time in issuing visas now because of this. They're canceling the appointments that have been issued also, basically, and so that is the problem which they have right now,
Okay, and maybe మనకి 20 days లో న్యూ ప్రెసిడెంట్ అండ్ న్యూ రూల్స్ కూడా రాబోతున్నాయి. మేబీ అవి ఇంప్లిమెంట్ అయిన తర్వాత మన ట్రావెల్ బ్యాన్ ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ కి సంబంధించి అప్డేట్ మళ్ళీ ఏమైనా చేంజ్ అయ్యే ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుందంటారా?
చెప్పలేమండి, ఉండొచ్చు, చెప్పలేము బేసికలీ. బట్ పాయింట్ ఏంటంటే there are one significant thing happened yesterday which people don't know. They don't actually give much importance to that. The importance is now they require every immigrants to prove that they have an ability to obtain health insurance in the United States within the 30 days of their entry into the United States. While అమెరికాకు వచ్చిన within 30 రోజుల్లో health insurance, they have to provide the ability that they can secure an health insurance in this country, financially and otherwise, basically. That's a significant rule change, basically, because that's going to become a big problem because most of the insurance companies doesn't give insurances in the US for the travelers.
Yes.
And unless they have a job or anything like that, they just can't get the insurance basically in this country, Green card holders, yes, they may be able to get the insurance, but obviously they have to go through all the 9 steps to get into that process, applying Social Security Administration, everything and all these things. Yesterday, 9th Circuit has given this decision, which is basically very significant change in the Trump administration. Many organizations who are pro-immigration basically actually said that this is basically usurping the power of Congress in basically making this kind of a changes in immigration policy through executive action, but President has done that. So this is a very significant thing, which I think Biden administration has to consider, as you said, for the second part, which we are talking about, what the things will happen in the Biden administration. That is one thing is very, very important. So all the parents who are in this country who want to come into this country, I think they should be able to show whether they have an insurance or they're going to get an insurance within 30 days, basically. They said it immigrants, but I'm sure they're going to extend that to the non-immigrants as well, because If it comes to policy implementation, it could be wacky sometimes, basically, right? How they interpret and everything, basically. So those are the things which we have to really care about, basically, you know.
ఓకే.
And మీరు నెక్స్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ ఇది అడగపోతుంది మేము మధ్యలో ఆపాను. ఐఎమ్ సారీ ఫర్ దట్.
యాహ్!
quickly question.
యెస్. దట్స్ ఓకే. యాహ్! మనకి న్యూ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ మనకి 2021 కావచ్చు అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ మనకి 20 డేస్‌లో న్యూ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ రాబోతోంది. ఇమిగ్రేషన్ పాలిసీ 2021లో ఎలా ఉండబోతోంది అసలు?
The first thing which I'm expecting from 2020 is at least making changes to the Trump executive orders, basically for the immigration policy. You know,
Yeah.
especially if it comes to DACA, if it comes to travel bans imposed on the people and other restrictions imposed by Trump by executive orders. I think those things has to be changed first, basically. And actually, the president-elect actually stated about that, but we do not know how soon he's going to implement that because he has not given any timeline and everything. Right now, it's very significant that this travel ban, which has been imposed on the green card holders and the H-1B visa holders and L-1 visa holders, J-1 visa holders and F-1 visa holders, to be taken care of first and outmost priority is that, basically, right? And we don't know the timeline, but we're expecting that that thing will be taken care of. Point is, it has been extended only till March. Two things can happen. One is basically is that they may just let it expire in March, or basically they may immediately come into effect, immediately issue an order designing this executive orders, basically. You know, that one policy which is very important. Second thing is the current administration, I mean, the oncoming administration, basically not current, oncoming administration, they clearly basically said that they're going to work on a comprehensive immigration reform. In that, obviously, they have these policies which have been laid out, which are very, very beneficial to Indian community and other communities, like removing per country limit on the visas and making sure that all the process, everything goes well, basically. And I'm worried also, basically, that Democrats are more pro-labor. That means what I mean to say is basically is that the wages of the various program employees may go up a little bit higher than what it is right now. They're always pro-wages, increasing wages, basically. Sometimes it may not be practical in reality, basically, how the companies can continue paying that kind of wages when the business is not growing up, or the rate of investment is not there that much, basically, right? It's always important that expenses has to be in control for the companies to run successfully because they have to make some profit as well, you know?
Yes, Bhanu గారు, ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ తెలుసుకునే ముందు వి హావ్ ఏ కాలర్ అండి న్యూ జెర్సీ నుంచి సందీప్ గారు లైన్ లో ఉన్నారు. యా, సందీప్ గారు, ప్లీజ్ గో ఆన్ అండి.
Hello.
హలో, ఎస్ సందీప్ గారు, ప్లీజ్. యా.
Hi, Mr. Bhanu. Thanks so much giving me an opportunity to ask a question. So I'm from New Jersey. My question is, I have currently an interview, an appointment on Jan. So I purposely took it after Biden takes office, which is around last week of Jan. But now that given the travel ban is kind of extended, what do you think, the chances of getting the visa approved? It's a Dropbox appointment. I've been with this employer for the last 3 years. So I think my position is still 6 to 8 months of end of pending. So just wanted to check with you, what do you feel what are the chances of me getting the visa approved? It's an emergency trip that I have to make it to India. My parents are not doing well, so I really wanted to avoid travel, but it seems like I can't. So just wanted to get your thoughts. Thank you.
Sir, the Department of State has not come and said anything is going to be done with the exceptions they stated for the travel ban from March and everything, but we're assuming that those exceptions are still in place. Because of those exceptions are still in place, you were eligible to take an appointment through Dropbox, basically, because you were in the United States at that time. I'm assuming that you were in the United States at the time this travel ban has been imposed. Therefore, you're eligible to apply for a visa because you qualify for exemption, basically, over there, And I think the same thing is going to happen right now. And I think the same exceptions, if you qualify for it, you should not have any problem getting a visa. Or if you're applying first time for a visa in the basically to come to US, because you said Dropbox was that, so I'm very confident that it is not a first time. But for the first timers, if they are first timers who are applying for a visa during this ban, if they belong to one of the organizations for which the court has given a judgment in basically in October, saying that if the employees belongs to those particular organizations, then they're exempt from this travel ban. They should be able to get a visa and come into this country. So if you belong to any one of those organizations like Chamber of Commerce and other organizations, basically, who have been parties to that lawsuit, you basically, as a first timer also, you're eligible to get a visa during this ban. Otherwise, as you're not a first timer, I'm assuming, because you said it's a Dropbox, you should be okay, unless they cancel your appointments. Because what we saw in consulates in India is they've given a notification that they're canceling all the appointments that have been scheduled for January and February, basically, because of the logistical issues, basically, and they've tweeted on this also by the Delhi embassy. So if anything like that happens, basically, nothing much I can say, but as of now, it seems to be you're okay,
All right. Thank you.
Yes, Sandeep Garu, thanks for calling.
Much appreciated.
Yes, thank you. And Bhanu Garu, what is DACA, and can founders get visas in 2021 through DACA?
Ma'am, DACA is basically it's a deferred action relief. It's a discretionary relief for somebody from a removal proceedings, basically removal actions, basically. So what they are saying is that DACA actually provided relief for certain class of individuals in this country who have been unlawfully present in this country during certain period of time, basically. The timeline is that somebody has been entered into this country before the age of 16 years old and has been present unlawfully in this country as of June 15, 2007, Yeah. And also as of January 15, 2012, they're not, and as of certain date of 2012, just a second, ma'am, as of June 15 of 2012, basically, they were not crossing the age of 31 years, and they are in school or attending the school or at least got a high school degree, high school graduates, then they're eligible to apply for the DACA. So the requirement is very, very clear here. People who can eligible to apply for DACA, basically, it is basically it's a deferred action relief. Basically, it's nothing but it's a deferred action. That means DACA does not give you any legal status, but it gives you authorized to stay in this country while you're present in the United States if you have been given a DACA, and also gives you 2 years work authorization, basically, and you're eligible to renew for another 2 years afterwards, basically, So you're eligible for renewal as long as this DACA policy is in existence. The requirement is that you have to be continuously physically present in this country from 2007, basically, Okay. And as of June 20, 2012, you did not cross your age 31, basically, and those are the two criteria, basically. And also you must have been entered prior to age of 16. One more most important thing is a lot of people ask me is that, sir, I entered before June 2007. I was below 16 years of age, but I was an H4 visa on June 15, 2012. Mm-hmm. I'm eligible for DACA, And unfortunately, those individuals will not be eligible for DACA because what requires is that they have no legal status as of June 15, 2012, while they're present in this country, basically, And I think it's ridiculous. People who have been lawfully present in this country cannot get this relief, but people who are unlawfully present in this country can get this relief. But that's what those regulations are, and that's what those policies are, basically. It's an unfortunate thing. So people who are on H4 visa or F1 visa or J1 visa or some other visa as of June 15, 2012 will not be eligible for the DACA. But people who are unlawfully present in this country doesn't have any status at the time. And if they can establish proof that from June 15, 2007, they were illegally present in this country and continuous legal presence is there in this country, if they can document that, they should be able to apply for DACA, even now also, basically.
Okay. And one more thing, March 2021 H1B lottery system ela undabotundi. I mean, new administration rabotundi kabatti. Can you give us some tips?
Yeah, sure. See, as we all know that it's going to be registration process, which we have to go through now every year. So from March 1 to March 20th, they're going to open the registration, basically, and every company has to register during that time by paying $10 fee. And once your registration is done, they're going to, whichever cases are selected, those employers are going to notify that they have certain period of time, basically, to submit their applications. And if enough applications have not come, then they're going to do the second lottery, just like what they have done for 2020. One fiscal year for 2022 fiscal year as well, basically. That's what they're going to do, basically, And main is important thing is which bothers a guy like me is basically is that the regulatory changes proposal which USA has introduced or proposed and basically put for the notice and comment, they publish for the notice and comment purposes, saying that the lottery will be conducted and will be issued. The cases will be selected in the lottery based upon the wages offered by the employers to the employees for these positions, basically. Okay, that's very troubling, basically, because two things I don't understand the logic behind that is basically is that one, if you're hiring an H-1B worker in the same position where another US worker is working for you, but you have to pay higher wages than the US worker just to get into the lottery for the H-1B worker. Isn't that a discriminatory policy against the US workers? I do not know. I'm not a legal expert on the policy issues. I'm not an advocate. I do lawyering but not advocating, so I do not know that, basically. So that one question which really bothers me, basically. I mean how it's not discriminatory, basically, and how it's going to sustain in the law, basically, how they're going to justify that, why paying higher wages are the people eligible to get into this country. Because if there are certain wages that are prescribed by the Department of Labor, prevailing wages, that's the wages which employers are required to pay for the employees. And as long as they're in compliance with all the requirements and with the wage and hour division regulations and H-1B regulations and everything, then they should be able to hire H-1B workers. They cannot discriminate H-1B worker and the US workers, right? Because they have to provide same working conditions as to the US workers, basically. But that proposal is basically preposterous for me. But I'm worried that may be passed by the USCIS, because I do not know how Biden government will act on this one, and how soon, how fast, or how swiftly will act on this and to curtail this regulation to pass, basically. We posted a lot of comments on this. I request also in social media and everybody also, all the company owners and other people to come and comment on this, basically. AILA also requested to provide comments, basically, in the notice and comment period, how it's going to impact their businesses, basically, how impractical it is, whether it's reasonable or not, basically, what kind of potential lawsuits they're going to face if this is going to happen with the US workers and everything, basically, right? But I do not know how many comments have come. I did not go through that information. I didn't get a chance to look into that because of the job which I have been basically in, and I will definitely look into it in coming weeks, basically. I'm just worried if that policy is going to come into effect, if they're going to pass that regulation, basically, then we have to understand that. But they have to pass that before March 1st, right? Because they're going to implement the registration by March 1, 2020, like last year, even this year also, basically. If that's going to happen, basically, that's what it is. That is only the worry I have. If it's not there, then the lottery is going to be the same as like last year, basically, and they're going to basically take the lottery based upon the registrations happened and how many people have a master's degree are the ones which will be considered first, and then later on non-master's degree people will be considered first in the regular quota and then the master's quota, basically. That's how they're going to go, rather than the reverse way, basically, and that's what it is. As of now, it's a wait and hear game, basically, and but that is the only thing which is worried about me, because AILA expressing that they may pass that regulation, basically. Maybe the regulation has to be challenged, but if they pass that one, it has to be challenged, basically.
And how soon we expect the immigration action plans taken by the new administration?
I think very swiftly. I think that will be their top of their head, because the thing is the incoming administration is nothing but it's a continuity of the Obama administration, basically, right? No. Because vice president is from the same government, and also basically has the same or similar policies, and even the people whom is electing in his cabinet, basically, are the people who are basically, most of them are from Obama administration, basically. So the policies and administrative criteria will continue the Obama administrations in the Biden policy also. Of course, there are going to be tweaks here and there. Every policy, every administration will have its own. But my point is that why I would say it's very significant, they're going to act very swiftly, this is my hunch only, my guess only, my view only. I may not be correct in this, but it's my view, basically, by looking into how things have been happening in the past, right? So Obama government miserably failed with the immigration policy for 8 years.
Okay.
Prior to him leaving the administration, he has issued these executive orders for the DACA and other things, but for 8 years he miserably failed. No other administration has removed that many people than Obama government. So he had a lot of slack. He has taken a lot of slack from the Hispanic community and other community because of that. I think that has been shown in some states for this current administration that they lost the Hispanic vote. Actually, President Trump got those votes basically, right? So.
Yeah.
So I'm very confident that that will be the outmost. That's going to be a very important part for them, basically, because they're looking ahead for 2024. Okay, and the politics plays purely a role on immigration policy. Immigration policy cannot be separated from politics, basically.
Yes, obviously. Bhanu garu, we have another caller, Andy Mohan garu.
Mm-hmm.
Mohan garu.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Bhanu.
Yes,
this is Krishna here. Krishna Mohan.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question. I heard that there is a new travel ban that President implemented. So is that going to affect further traveling to India for H-1B holders and H-4 holders?
Yes, I mean, that's what we talked in the initial segment of this particular show. And it's going to be the same, what has been imposed in June 2020, basically, right, on H-1B visa holders. In April, it's for the green card holders. In June, it is for H-1B holders and the L1 visa holders and everything. It's going to be I'm sorry for that. It's going to be the same policies. I think it's going to be continuing same thing till March. If you qualify for any exemption stated by the Department of State for this policy, then you may be eligible for the visa. Otherwise, unfortunately, until March 31, 2021, you will not be able to apply for the visa, basically.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much. Thank you for that.
Yes.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. Bhanu garu, consulting companies ఇప్పుడు H-1B ప్రాసెస్ చేసే టైంలో ఏమైనా న్యూ ఛాలెంజెస్ ఏమైనా ఫేస్ చేసే అవకాశం ఉంటుందంటారా న్యూ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ లో?
ఏముండదండి, basically everything will be the same. As far as my understanding will be the same. See, the point here is the new full memo and other memo have been actually implemented during Obama administration, basically, for the specialty occupation definition. The actual problem started for the consulting companies to prove that position as a specialty occupation is actually imposed by the Obama administration in 2010, So we may see that the same thing may go against the H-1B visa program, where they may try to have more restrictive definition for specialty occupation, but they may do that through the regulatory process right now by following the procedures under the APA and everything. And that is only the worry which I have. If they do that, this current administration, how it's going to impact, basically, obviously, companies again have to go through all the hardship, getting the client letters and everything. Basically, even though they have a business, even they have a requirement for the individual, sometimes it's the documentary evidence. Gathering that evidence is a difficult thing sometimes, basically, in this relationship, especially in the EVC models or EVVC model businesses, it's very difficult, basically. And most of the, I think 2/3 of H-1Bs are utilized by the employers who actually have the business models in the EVC model or EVVC models, basically. So that's where the whole issue will come. So we have to really watch how fast this government is going to take action and everything, because he has not provided any timelines. He said that he will act immediately, but he has not provided any timelines. The president-elect has not provided any timelines, exactly what's going to do, what not going to do. So for 2021, I'm not expecting too many changes, but eventually it's going to happen changes in 2022 and 2023, and see basically how they're going to do it. I'm also hoping that they're going to increase the number of H-1Bs also in a year, basically because there's huge demand and everything. I think there's a huge lobbying is going on that by the major big companies and major organizations, basically. So those numbers also will go up. But if those numbers will go up in this current administration next 4 years, basically, but how far it's going to go, whether that will be enough, those things are also very, very important, basically. And these are the things which we have to look into how it's going to be. Of course, these are all speculations, right? So there is no concrete answer for these things, basically.
Yes, I mean, end of the 2020 కి ఇప్పటికి USCIS లో lot of applications I-35 ఫైల్ అయి ఉన్నాయి. సో జీసీ విషయంలో వీళ్ళ రూల్స్ ఎలా ఉండొచ్చు అంటారు?
మీరు చెప్పేది మొన్న అక్టోబర్లో 485 ఫైల్ మీరు అనేది అదే కదా, బేసికలీ. ఐ మీన్, everything will be normal, and I don't see any major thing basically. But the thing is now, again, as I said, Department of State went with the final action dates for January basically, and we do not know when they're going to again move to the filing action dates and allow the people to apply 485s. I think they'll have a complete idea after completing the receipting process in all the log boxes. They have a huge delay in receipting these 485 cases in the log boxes. We still haven't received for many cases that have been submitted with the USCIS, and we are waiting for them to come basically. They said that they have this understanding, they know that they're delayed and everything. And if they have any questions, they asked everybody to contact or send an email to the logbox support email to customer service so that we can get the status of the cases. But we are doing that in our office, but very, very slow in response also. They're not giving any information also. Basically, they're saying that we're in the process of issuing the receipt, but they never say that whether the case has been receipted or accepted or anything like that. So those things are there. And obviously, they're going to issue the visas based upon the availabilities and everything. I think they're going to recapture the visas and everything also. But I do not know how much far the green cards final action dates will move in 2021, unless if any law passed accordingly. I don't think that will happen basically. And unfortunately, we saw that HR 1044 has been killed in Congress. It has not been introduced along with omnibus bill or anything like that. In 2020, it's basically killed. In 2021, whether it will be taken or not, we do not know. The reason is there were poison pills are introduced in that in the Senate by the Senator Lee and other people basically. And because of those poison pills, Democrats will not agree to them basically.
Okay, Bhanu, before we wind up the show, can you share your personal information if someone needs your personal legal advice? Yes.
Yeah, sure, definitely. And see, our firm is BBI Law Group, basically. We are located in Herndon, Virginia, and that's basically Washington, D.C. suburbs. And they can basically reach us at 703-496-7722. That's our phone number. Or they can reach me on my email also, Bhanu, B-H-A-N-U, Bhanu, at bbilawgroup.com, and that's my email. Or they can also basically seek a consultation through our website also, www.bbilawgroup.com, and they can reach me anytime and during the office hours. Usually we are open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So that's where it is basically.
Yes, Andy, thank you very much. మీ వాల్యుబుల్ టైం ని స్పేర్ చేసి మా వ్యూవర్స్ కోసం ఎంతో ఇమిగ్రేషన్ సలహాలు సూచనలు అందించారు. థ్యాంక్స్ ఫర్ జాయినింగ్ us. Thank you.
No, you're welcome, ma'am. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sakshi TV, and wish you all very happy New Year. Please stay safe and stay healthy, and try to follow social distancing and wear a mask if possible. And because things are being really severe outside, so a few months I think we'll be okay.
Yes.
A few months we'll be okay after that. Okay, thank you all. Have a good day.
చూసారు కదండి, ఇది వాటి సాక్షి స్పెషల్ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ షో. మరో షోతో మళ్ళీ కలుసుకుందాం. చూస్తూనే ఉండండి సాక్షి, తెలుగువారి మనస్సాక్షి. నమస్తే.